March 2019, and we are talking the mid-month review of March right here on the RRT Boxing Show. I'm your host, Mr.A. Let's talk it. Let's talk it. Now, honestly, folks, March is starting off slow compared to the first 2 months. You know, now if you're a new viewer to the RRT Boxing Show, you missed January and February's monthly reviews. You know, they cover the best top 3 knockouts, fighter of the month, knockout of the month, round of the month, stuff like that. So that way we could track it down and have a nice friendly debate at the end who is boxer KO. So we at least have a nice little track record instead of just grabbing at what's fresh. That's recently fresh happened. But, you know, March, as far as the monthly review, we're gonna kind of stick it to promotional. You know, but that's one thing I think I have forgot in the past ones is promotional brands. You know, I think I might have put in there, but March been kind of slow. You know, I know the previous months TGB Tom Brown, he's been hitting off hard for PBC. Like I said, TGB is kind of like they picked up where Lou DiBella Entertainment was, kind of branched in with PBC. You know, DiBella, now that Farmer's getting big, DiBella's taking some of his talent and taking that, getting that money opportunity for his fighters on the zone. So gotta be another outlet. So TGB's picking it up, and he's in the first half of the month. We're gonna talk what's coming in the second half and see what you think of it at the finish of it. You know, there's more fights to come in this month, but we're gonna just talk about probably the needle moving fights. There's like here and there fights. You know, like there's the cruiserweight fight. There's gonna be a breakdown and prediction of Arthur Mann and Kevin. Kevin Lorena or something? I forgot that dude's name, but we'll break that fight down. There's those random fights out there that's ain't gonna be much of a needle moving fight, but that's what we do right here on the RRT Boxing Show. You know, we cover the best versus the best. For you new viewers, if you're still in this 3-minute mark, the 3 best versus the best are not 3 best, but the best versus the best on this lingo on this show is 1 through 15, and the champs are the champs. You know, so that's what this show is about. You know, if you're already here, you know that. Hit that thumbs up, support your show. Now, the first half of the month, and you know, and some of the front candidates, you would say so far from the promotional wise, you had Queensberry Promotions with Frank Warren. That is probably the leading, and he's been very quiet. Queensberry Promotions has been very quiet for 2019. The stable's not that deep, so them going with ESPN and Top Rank could help each other out. Could help each other out. Because then both of them ain't too deep. And Top Rank is doing a lot of signing. And then you got Queensberry Matchroom. You had Bivol and Smith Jr., Hooker, Johnson, and Mohani. What else was on that card? You had the premiere of that Uzbekistan guy. Speaking of Uzbekistan, if you've been following the RRT Boxing Show for the year and a half it's been out, you know Mr.A has been pushing a Uzbekistan fighter, and he gets his opportunity later this month. We were talking Quadrilo Abdulquatrov. Let's see what he's about. The Punisher, I think it's March 30th on ESPN. So we've been talking about him. He gets his opportunity later this month. Let's see if he's the real deal. You know, this is what it is, the best versus the best. You know, climbing themselves up the ladder. You become a champion. You're better than the best if you're a champion. You're a fucking champion. But let's see if what that Uzbekistan's about. The Punisher, I like him, but hey, off track. I always go off track when I mention that guy. You know, but Matchroom had the ninth. TGB had the second with Castano and Lara and Hammer Ortiz. Now, in between there was Jordan Gill's fight, Agate and Tom Schwartz, but probably the needle moving cards was probably that Lara Castellano, Hammer Ortiz, that card, TGB, and you can possibly say going right now, Castellano could be a fighter of the month. Oh, there's Porter Ugis on the, but Castellano, he showed up. Lara is what he always is, but he just starting to, fade away. He can go, but it's just a new time of boxing. It happens to everyone. Hammer Ortiz, you could say that card, the two Cubans, they started to look that Cuban shit. You don't know how old they are. Laura, they're supposedly 30, 40, 34. Ortiz, Castellano showed up, made a name for himself. Hammer, I can say Hammer because he did better than what I anticipated. I anticipated him getting knocked out. I'm pretty sure a lot of you anticipated Christine Hammer getting knocked out. So I don't know if he is a fighter of the month candidate, but his stock definitely, I think, risen. And I think American fans will be willing to watch Hammer again against another American prospect or another heavyweight. But I know, for instance, I know it probably can't happen, but Hunter is on the zone, but him and Hammer, or maybe Nowatzki and Hammer, they'd be familiar. I guess you could say Nowatzki is an American fighter. We don't have too many American fighters that's funny because I think I just seen an interview somewhere where Eddie Hearn was saying that shit. Like, what American fighters do you have? Earl Spence, Deontay Wilder, Mikey Garcia. You know what? And then he just start nitpicking. Oh, Danny Garcia, Sean Porter. You know what I mean? But I say leading candidates, fighter of the month. Who you give it to? What? Would you give it to Sean Porter? Some people say he lost to Ugas. But you the Ugas, he showed up. Castellano showed up. Disappointment of the month. Will you give it to Laura for not finishing Castellano, or was that a good fight? Ortiz, he didn't finish Hammer. Who a disappointment? Was it Porter, where he didn't show up? Was it Mansour? Who was a disappointment? I know this is only the beginning of the month, but these are the candidates. Like I said, March ain't too hot, so that's the beginning of it. Like I said, and maybe what we got in the second half is something that's going to be just a strong ass month because we just talked about the first half of the month. It's coming in the second half, starting tomorrow or later on today when you watch this. If you watch this, thank you for your time and support. Hit that thumbs up if you are not a new viewer. Show some support to the RRT Boxing Show. I am your host, Mr.A. Hopefully you become the host of your new show, your new boxing show. Just one of the many. There's tons of them. Enjoy all of them. Just come on back here when you want to talk the best versus the best, 1 through 15. And then you talk some championship shit. And if you're a new viewer, there is some things called Mr. A's Thoughts. I just talk about boxing subjects with my little spin on them. Sometimes it's not even a boxing scene subject. It's just me looking at fucking rankings and things and fucking putting it together. Sometimes, hey, the fights do happen. Like I called for Jonah and Farmer earlier, like in season 2. We're in season 3 right now. Like in season 2, I was talking about that fight, and hey, here it is. So, I look at the rankings, new viewers, and booyah. So hit that thumbs up. Like I said, starting tomorrow is Jonah and Farmer. That, which is so damn cool. Like I said, I just mentioned that fight. I've been like talking about that fight for like a good year and a half. It's my fucking day off tomorrow. I get to watch this fight. That's a good shit. And on that card is Katie Taylor and fucking Queen Rose. This is a good day off for me, man. You got fucking Luke Campbell. His just stay busy fight. Who knows what's gonna pop off with Luke, depending on what Mikey Garcia does with that fight. And if Mikey Garcia vacates that belt, you got fucking what's homeboy's name? I think he's Puerto Rican or Dominican. The flipping Teofimo Lopez. That motherfucker is. I was looking at cards of what's coming up. I was just looking up at what's coming up in the up and coming months. He's on the undercard of someone, Khan, I think, and he's fighting. If that fool, he's ranked number 4. If that fool wins, he's fighting a ranked fighter. I forgot, like number top 10 Toth. He's fighting the dude who beat Frank Uruguay. Teofimo Lopez should beat him because right here on the RRT Boxing Show, we picked against the guy Teofimo Lopez is fighting. We picked Frank to beat him, but he upset our pick. He won that fight and somehow got this fight. So with what I seen, like I said, this is the RRT Boxing Show. We do talk those. Like I said, some people might just think that dude's a bum. Like, Teofimo Lopez is going to beat this bum. He is the best versus the best. The 1 through 15 right here on the RRT Boxing Show. That is what we talk about. So if Teofimo Lopez beats that dude, he's ranked number 4. And from what I've seen of that guy, he don't have from how he beat Frank, and considering Frank was trying to put the pressure on him, and you can only imagine what Teo is going to try and do on him. So he was able to backstep and jab, and then once in a while put pressure on Frank. I don't see him back foot jabbing Teofimo, or being able to take those right hands the way Frank was able to catch him when he was back footing. Teofimo was going to knock that fool out. So most likely, if he beats that top 10 guy and Luke Campbell wins this stay busy fight, that's number 1 and number 4 winning. And Mikey Garcia, who is fighting on the 16th, if he vacates that belt, will the WBC say, hey, Luke Campbell, Teofimo Lopez, fight for this vacant title, hoping that, even though Luke Campbell will be, I think, a good representative of a organization as a champion, he will go down fighting. Do you think and hope, the WBC will hope that Teofimo defeats Luke, go for that Lomachenko fight, the Hispanic or Latino, the brown blood here? I think that's a more universal coverage, the brown-blooded fighter. What will the WBC do? It all depends on what the fuck Errol Spence does with Mikey Garcia, which is the 16th. So you got the 15th, which is Tevin Farmer and fucking Jono already. Queen Rose, Gabe Rosado and Shalucky, Luke Campbell, and you got the what's his homeboy's name? Danyar Yellowstonov. He's that. Then what's the Triple G country? Kakistan. He's been pushing hard. The dude seems good. It just you can see it in his face. I need some stiff competition. He's in that. The only thing that sucks with those fighters that's rushed. Who the fuck they need to stay busy and start whooping ass like he's doing. He's trying to do. And who's gonna give them that opportunity? They can only whoop so many ass before our organization just has to throw them a ranked fighter. So that's the 15th. The 16th, you got Errol Spence, Mikey Garcia. Enough said. Don't need to fucking talk about that one on this. Then on that undercard, though, you got Jalen Love and Benavidez. Can Love survive? You know, Love's been doing just enough to complain about why he didn't win, or not enough to win. It's like, okay, Love, what are you gonna do now? Because Benavidez, are you gonna prove that? Are you gonna come out with a Tyson Fury story like I never lost my belts? I never lost my belt. So are you gonna come out and say you're a champ, prove you're a champ? And Benavidez, you know, he goes for an ass whooping. He goes for the knockouts. Love is a guy who likes to do enough to survive rounds, not to be aggressive. You know, I want to say, at first I didn't give a fuck about this fight. I thought it was kind of like, okay, money bags. But the more I think about it, it's Love. This is a bad fight for Love. Because like I said, from what Love been showing us recently, right? Have we seen much like gun-ho effort from Love? He walks around the ring, gets the jab pumping, little head bumps here and there, doesn't look too much. And Benavidez, if he's, he got popped for coke. I doubt he was fucking going in the ring coked up, throwing punches. That boxing's got to be him. That coke is just probably his in between fight lifestyle. I don't think he was a full coke athlete. I don't think so. Dabble here and there, perhaps, but I don't think he was. But you never know. Junkies go. But I know I always need my boxing fix. I'm a fucking junkie, dog. I'm a junkie. That's one of the 15th, 16th, and 17th. Mike Holland, top rank. Fucking St. Patty's Day, Madison Square Garden. Bullshit card. But hey, it's boxing Sunday. Mike Holland versus Hernandez. Like I said, you can never assume anything in boxing. I get it. But go look at that fool's Baccarex picture and he's like, okay, we're not signed up to lose. They put the poorest, pathetic looking picture they could find of the poor guy. His eyes just look sad. And I'm sorry, I shouldn't be talking about the guy, but Mike Holland, again, not really stepping up. Now, Patty Barnes is on that card. I don't know if this is his first fight back, but it's first time I probably lay eyes on him since his body shot stoppage from Rosales. So see how he bounced back. To me, like I said, I don't know if this is his first fight, but it's my first time laying eyes on him since that body stoppage. Now on the undercard, it's interesting. Luis Collazo and Samuel Vargas. The same Samuel Vargas who did drop Amir Khan, who is fighting Crawford on the 20th of April. Why this fight? Do you possibly think Collazo could be a welterweight possibility for the top rank stable? Vargas, you figure they got Aegis. They got Alexander. Is it Alexander or Alexander? I know it's Pesputin, but I don't know if it's Oleg or Alex. But they got Pesputin, Kavalaskis. That's their two top welterweights, I believe, top ranks. And then from there, who do they probably have? They probably have What's that Canadian fool? Do they have Canadian connections with Custo Clayton or Clayton Clusto? I don't know if they have connections with him. So why not bring in Luis Colazo, Vargas? That'll get you possibly another fight for an Aegis or a Pesputin. You know, instead of letting them fight each other, you can draw that out a little bit. That's the 17th. Now this is interesting. I don't know much about it. I just know recently I seen the article that the Golden Boys signing with the DAZN, they get to do small town. Not small. I don't know. It's right here in Avalon, Hollywood. You know, it's not right here. Shit, I don't live. I pointed like it's real close. I ain't near that shit. But the Golden Boys gonna start their little small prospect cards in Avalon, Hollywood, every Thursday, and the 21st is gonna be the first card on the zone. So check that out on the demand. 23rd. Now this, I'm interested in. The 23rd. Like I said, March. Well, what I named so far. The second you had Lara Castellano, Hammer Ortiz. The 9th, Bivens Smith Jr., Hooker Lapierre, Shanahan Johnson. The 9th was also Parker Ugas. That's probably the highlight of the month, right? Parker Ugas. Because you're starting to forget about Lara and Castellano. And then you're like, oh, yeah, that was a good fight. You're starting to forget about that fight. You know, on the 8th, you had Yard and Rivas, Liam Williams, Molinder, Dubois, Caggiano, the Frank Warren card. That right there is probably award-winning for the month of March. Like I said, that's probably the best card so far. And Liam Williams, the way he walked up and just 1-2 Molinder, that shit's probably knockout of the month. Dubois on Caggiano, probably knockout 2 of the month. Then you will have to say which one was more. Was it Rivas on Yard on Yard, or John? I'll probably say Johnson over Mohani is number 3. Even though Yard on Rivas he stunned like, boom, with that 1-2, shook his leg and his equilibrium went somewhere else. I'm not sure. I don't quite remember if Yard knocked him down before that. But I remember Johnson for sure knocked Mahoney down. And when he got up, he was on stupid street. And then he finished him. Like, I remember Mahoney looking fucked up while Reeves was ready to fight. So since the knockouts were similar in that fight, I'm going with Johnson as number 3. So knockout of the month so far was on the 8th. That quiet as ESPN Plus Queen Berry's Frank Warren's card. So that being said, Lara Castellano, he's slipping Cowboy Hall and Tom Schwartz, slip those guys in there. Bivens Smith Jr., Porter Ugas, Yard Rivas, 15th Farmer Jono, 16th Errol Spence Garcia. The 16th, like I said, that's a hot one. Benavidez, Love. And what else is on that card? There was someone else on that card. There's someone else. I know Charles Martin versus Craig Corbin is on that card. Now, I know I'm the only one who gives a rat's ass about this fight. And it's not Charles Martin versus Craig Corbin. You know, to this day, I want to see our last 2 American heavyweights fight. I know no one else gives a rat's ass about Deontay Wilder fighting Charles Martin. I do. You know, it's American. I want to see it. I want to see it. I think it'll be some good ass trash talking. So me myself, I went with Charles Martin for Adam Nowacki. I want to go with Charles Martin against Craig Corbin. Nothing against Craig Corbin. I know he's a former. He might still be because on the Boxing Voice, I've seen a lot of Deontay Wilder's. You know how they go into the camps of fighters, and they've been Deontay Wilder's camp quite a lot, and you see the sparring partners. Craig Corbin's been there quite a few camps. So through their footage, and their visits of Deontay Wilder, we got to see out of nowhere a guy named Craig Corbin. If you followed the Boxing Voice and the Deontay Wilder fan, then you got to see this shit. So, he seemed like a stand-up guy, but hey, he interferes with the two American champs. Again, no one else gives a rat's ass about that fight. Charles Martin got knocked out by Anthony Joshua. I just wanted to see the two American champs fight, the two past. Put that shit in. Put that shit in fucking. It won't be big enough to sell a fucking football stadium in Alabama. What else? Is there Louisiana down there? That fight won't be hot in Louisiana. Could be, maybe. Louisiana. That city pours out for the fucking Saints. So there is a possibility for a fucking nice sports event for Deontay Wilder versus the past American champion right here in Louisiana. What else? What else is a football team? You got Louisiana, Atlanta Falcons. You got the hot Atlanta Falcons. Put them down there. Deontay Wilder versus the last American heavyweight champion, Charles Martin. That'll work. That'll work. Two trash talk. Charles Martin would trash talk like a motherfucker. Deontay Wilder already said trash talked him. So you sold your belt. You got knocked out. That'd be a good fight. So will it mean anything if Charles Martin fucking wins this fight? He could keep talking shit, try to build himself up. But if Craig Corbin wins this fight on the undercard of Errol Spence, Charles Martin's done. He'll become probably in Craig Corbin's place. Get a rematch. Get a rematch on a fucking next Errol Spence card. You could do that. On the 23rd, a flyby card for Matchroom, for the boxing fans. Myself, I'm going to be in. What's grabbing my attention right here at Mr.A on the RRT Boxing Show. What's grabbing my attention on this card is the cruiserweight, the sauce, fucking Lawrence Okolie. You got Charlie Edwards taking on Moreno. You got Boazia fucking fighting. I can't read my writing here, but the British Boazia, he's building. Like I said, the year and a half the show's been created. Even before I created the show and the little bit of boxing fan, I wasn't too familiar with the English shit. So Boazia, I'm just starting to hear more doing the show as I'm researching other English fighters, watching cards. I hear his name throughout interviews. So I'm starting to see who Boazia is. So he's coming up on this card. Looking clean so from what I've seen. He's been on the show once or twice. Once, I think. Charlie Edwards, like I said, this card's a flyby card. 23rd. He's not going to get really no attention. The Sauce and Camacho. I like Okolie. The guy stinks up the room, but I still like him. It's weird to say right now the future of the cruiserweights is probably like him and Tabiti, and is that good or bad? You could try and talk it up, but Tabiti and Okolie, wow, you could talk yourself into saying that's gonna be a nice action fight, but. Yeah, Tabiti, he got that power, but how many punches he's going to throw? Okolie, tall, he got that length. If he works that jab, he doesn't fucking hold. So that'd be a weird fight to who sees throw action in that. But Camacho and Okolie, from what I've seen of Camacho, the right opponent makes him freeze. You know, he freezes a lot and he gets stopped. Also on the 23rd, Pulev and Danu and Magliano return. So Matchroom and Top Rank, they got the 23rd cards. The kind of flyby cards, which is okay because right behind them on the 24th, you got Peterson and Lipinets. You know, and the backup and their co-main event is Jamonte Clark. You know, so that tall fool who was, I think, at welterweight, couldn't handle the body cut or the weight cut. So he's in 154 now. So like I said, 15, 16, 17, Farmer Juno, Spence Garcia, Callahan Hernandez. Those are the headliners. You got two good names in Spence and Garcia, but for what it is, it's not technically the best boxing fight. You're just hoping that we get a legendary hoo-ha, you know. But I guess, hey, if you want to see a beatdown and we get it's a totally mismatch. And like I told you so, if you're one of the people who wants to see I told you so, then hey, that'll be enjoyable for you. I don't know what the fuck I want on that fight. Do you want to see something enjoyable on boxing? You know? Like, oh, yeah, remember that fight? Remember that time Garcia and Spence, you know? Do you want to have one of those boxing conversations, you know, when you talk to an older guy right now, like, oh, I used to watch boxing because back in my time, it was all the greats, you know. I hate when people be saying that shit to me. Like, oh, I don't watch boxing anymore because I'm like, oh, shut the fuck up, dude. Shut up. You don't watch boxing anymore because you don't want to watch boxing. You know, so is it going to be one of those fights, Spence and Garcia? But technically, you know, it's to follow on that, you got Colin Hernandez, whatever. The Golden Boys on the 21st. 23rd, the Flybys. Charlie Edwards, Okoli in the Sauce, Watzia, Pulev Danu, Magdaleno's return. 24th, Peterson Lipinets. 24th, interesting thing. On the 24th, you have 360 card. Tom Loeffler, Triple G, and K2 Promotions card. Now, being that Triple G just signed with DAZN, do you? Like I didn't follow the whole press conference. I just know he signed there, so this information could be known. I just didn't fucking read it. Someone out there could leave a comment. If these promotional cards, Triple G, his small promotional fighters, he's bringing his Kakistan and Middle Eastern fighters. Are those cards going to be on DAZN? If those cards are on DAZN, fuck it, I'll watch that boxing. That's cool with me. That's cool with me, man. Extra boxing from out of nowhere. You're bound to see, even if those Middle Eastern fools aren't that good, there's some stiff robots. You're bound to see some hard ass punching in, you know, at least some nice slow ass hard punching technique. On the 24th, you got that card. And then you have another Matchroom card. This card, I didn't even know existed. I just looked it up. And it might be a nice little award winner. You got Liam Smith and Sam Egerton. Those motherfuckers are just going to throw some punches. Eventually, if one of them decides to box, that might be the winner, which probably might be Liam Smith. Then you got Fowler and Fitzgerald. Like I said, don't know too much about Fitzgerald. I did watch these two. I researched these two guys because I was watching something. I forgot whose fight I was watching, and they had an interview with Fowler. And then something about Fowler and Fitzgerald, and they just they're like talking shit. So I was like, I know Fowler. The dude, he's kind of a rugged guy. He kind of wants to hurt you, fighters type style. I'm familiar with him a little bit. Who's this guy talking shit on Fowler and Fowler talking shit back? I watched him. That should be an interesting fight. That should be an interesting fight. Fitzgerald and Fowler, that should be fun to watch. Egerton and Smith should be fun to watch. So that is a sleeper card, but might be entertaining. A sleeper on some award winners because someone might get knocked out on that card. And on the 30th, you got the Spaniard coming back after defeating Martin Mary, La Haraga, taking on David Anavesian. Now, I forgot who Anavesian was supposed to fight. Darn it. But if La Haraga could beat him, he's ranked pretty high there. Like I said, we've been covering him on the RRT Boxing Show. We've been covering him climbing the rankings. Him along with the Punisher, who fights the week after him, actually on the 30th as well. So both of those guys are getting their opportunity. La Haraga is fighting David Anavesian on the 30th, and the Punisher is on the undercard of Alexander Vazdik, making his first defense. So, me, the host, hopefully of your new boxing info show, the RRT Boxing Show, I am highly intrigued about this fight, this card, this Boxing Day. So, as we're looking at the rankings here, sorry if I just seemed off in another world. You know, when you're talking that boxing, that boxing junkie, I shouldn't have to explain myself. If you're watching this show, the RRT Boxing Show, and you're right here as the host with Mr.A, you're a boxing junkie. So when you talk about, oh, sorry, I'm off another world, you in that world. You are in that world with me, man. That motherfucker's fucked up. That motherfucker's been watching some boxing, dog. He been seeing some shit. You know, some robberies, some fucking knockouts, some fucking ducking. He's all fucked up, man. His mind ain't right, man. Boxing done fucked him up. Right here on the RRT Boxing Show. I'm your host, Mr.A. 147. Kerman Lara is number 2, folks, for the WBC. Number 2. Behind Danny Garcia. Number 5 for the WBA. Number 3 for the IBF. Number 5 for the WBO. This motherfucker is quietly there. It ain't no getting nowhere. He's there. You know, so he's fighting David Anavesian. If he beats this fight, you figure Errol Spence is defeating Mikey Garcia. Say so. Number 1 and 2 is vacant. Number 3, La Haraga. Number 4, the Punisher Quadrialo, who's fighting also on the 30th. Number 3 and 4 are fighting. Number 5 is fighting number 4, the Punisher. So someone, either one of those 3, is going to be a mandatory for Errol Spence, or they're going to get bumped into the final eliminator, you know? Or you never know. Number 3 and 4 might, because actually Quadrillo and Kitahara is a eliminator. I don't know if that's a final. I believe that's a eliminator. So that is definitely the winner of number 4 and 5 is going to fill a vacant slot for the IBF. So that leaves number 2 open. And if number 3, La Haraga, is fighting, good opportunity. Either they're going to qualify his fight as an eliminator, or he's going to have to fight one more time as an eliminator. So it's big shit for him. Errol Spence fans, information that you might enjoy. So these fights are meaningful, especially the Punisher. If you're an Errol Spence fan, like I said, I've been backing him. I always thought, talent for talent, he's probably one of the best dark horses. You know, out of the top 15, the guys we never hear of, this guy is probably the overall package of weaponry, punch selection, ring IQ, movement. He probably, from what I've seen, is the best one to give Errol Spence a shot. But the thing is, he's a little light in the ass. That's the thing. You know, his frame ain't the best. He doesn't look like a solid Middle Eastern fighter. He ain't coming out here with a 1-2s, hard ass, firm looking type body. Nah, he's a little toned. You know, these Middle Eastern guys, Middle European guys, he doesn't quite have that strength when he throws his punches, you know, so a little light in the ass. But like I said, if you're gonna pick someone that's a dark horse that could make an entertaining fight, I'm going with him. I've been riding with him. Before I created the RRT Boxing Show, I was a boxing fan. I'm a Keith Thurman fan, you know, so I was following Keith Thurman's rankings. And, you know, I was like, oh, fuck, of course, you see this dude's name, Quadrilo Abdulgatrov. You see this dude's name down there at the bottom, like, what the fuck? Number 14, 13. And what really got his name to fame is when he beat, for the WBC silver title, Charles Matanucci, you know, doing the drunk master style. He fucking clipped Matanucci. That really put his, like I said, going into that fight, he was like a he's a Uzbekistanian. Like I said, same as that guy who made his debut on the Bivol Smith Jr. card, Israeli Madriov. He's a Uzbekistan. Same with this dude right here, Quadrilo. He was like a blue chipper. Like I said, I don't know if he's his amateur background, but just as a pro, he was coming out. He got the WBC silver. Because he vanquished the belt, Sean Porter picked it up and got his title shot. Maybe they picked him like, hey, you're not quite ready to travel the WBC silver route. But like I said, he has the shot along with Laharaga. Two of the best climbed themselves up. Now it's time they entered the elite level because no one is even talking about these guys. No one. And here they are on the doorstep of fucking championship showdowns. The fucking doorstep, like I said, Quadrilo. Now he's deep on the WBO. He's number 11. So he ain't doing nothing with Terrence Crawford. But he's number 4 for the IBF. And again, like I said, number 1 and 2 is vacant. And this is a eliminator for the IBF. So I'm picking him to win over O'Hara. So I'm penciling him in. You can erase it. I'm penciling him in as a possible mandatory for Errol Spence, knocking on doorsteps. He's not ranked by the WBA no more, and number 5 for the WBC. Laharaga Kerman is number 2, and he's number 3 for the IBF. So these guys, Danny Garcia, who is fighting Adrian Granados, number 11. Now, if that's what's going to get him a shot at Porter or Spence, because according to the Porters, they're traveling to Dallas. They're traveling to Dallas. So does that mean that the WBC is going to mandate one final eliminator, Danny Garcia, taking on an interim bout against Hiram Laharaga if he wins this fight? You know, that'd be interesting. I would love to see that fight. You know, Danny Garcia has way better movement, but Laharaga's been showing some power as of late, some good body shots. Not the greatest head movement for a left hook throw in Danny Garcia, but dangerous. You know, you love to see new guys get the opportunity. You got Aegis. Aegis is on that card. Aegis is also on that card, and he's number 1 for the WBO. So the month of March is decent, but if you're like fans Like if you're a Terrence Crawford fan, his number one contender, Egas, is fighting at the end of the month. You say if you're like the welterweight, you got, like I said, these Quatrillo and La Haraga, they quietly arrived. It's like that movie Arrival. Like, oh shit, there's some aliens. They're just throwing their fucking hands at you. Like, what? We're here. We are here. What kind of aliens are they? Peaceful? Some fucking hostiles? We're gonna have to find out. So, like I said, that is the month of March. What do you have to say? What are you liking it? The RRT Boxing Show. By the time you watch this, hopefully you enjoy this and you got some hours or some minutes or some time, and it's right on time for Farmer and Jono. Thank you for your time and support. Enjoy boxing later on today.